Love X Revenge. The first time the cowboy heard her question, he almost dropped the tin cup from his hand. This thing, she said carefully, lifting the small brown bottle between two fingers, studying it as if it might bite. 3 times a day. Flushed. Her English was hesitant but clear, shaped by listening more than speaking. Her dark eyes stayed on his face, not the bottle, as if the answer mattered far more than the words printed on the label. He cleared his throat. That's what the doctor wrote, he said. Morning, noon, night. She blinked once, then twice. Every day. For a while, he answered. Until you're strong again. The wind rolled across the plain, bending the tall grass around his small ranch house. A hawk circled high above, screaming its lonely cry. The world felt suddenly very quiet, as if it too were waiting for her response. She nodded slowly, still holding the bottle. In my tribe, she said, we do not take the same thing so many times unless it is very important. He shrugged, uncomfortable. Guess this is important, then. He hadn't planned for any of this. 3 weeks earlier, his life had been simple in the way only lonely lives could be. Wake before dawn, feed the horses, fix fences, speak to no one but himself and the cattle. He had chosen that silence after the war, after the betrayal, after learning how easily love could turn into a weapon. Then he found her. She had been lying near the dry creek bed, half hidden by brush, blood dark against the dust. Apache markings on her clothes. A knife wound in her side that would have killed her if he'd ridden past 5 minutes later. He should have kept riding. That was the smart thing. The safe thing. Helping her meant trouble. Trouble with the law, trouble with the nearby town, trouble with the ghosts he already carried. But something in her eyes, even half closed with pain, had stopped him. Not fear, not pleading, just a fierce, stubborn refusal to die. So he lifted her onto his horse and brought her home. Now she stood in his kitchen, alive, healing, asking about medicine like it was a riddle that might decide her fate. She uncorked the bottle and sniffed it. Her nose wrinkled. Smells like a lie. He laughed before he could stop himself. The sound surprised them both. You don't have to like it, he said. Just have to take it. She hesitated, then tipped the bottle back, swallowing with a small grimace. When she finished, she wiped her mouth with the back of her hand and looked at him again. 3 times a day, she repeated. You will remind me. I will, he said. That should have been the end of it. Instead, it became the beginning. Morning, noon, night, her question echoed through his days. At sunrise, she would sit on the porch, watching the light spill over the land, and he would hand her the bottle. At midday, she'd interrupt his work with a raised eyebrow and that same look of serious curiosity. At night, by the fire, when shadows danced on the walls, she would take the medicine quietly, thoughtfully, as if each dose was a promise. With every reminder, he learned more about her. Her name was Ayanna. She had been sent as a messenger between clans when she was ambushed by men who wanted to start a war and blame it on her people. She carried knowledge that could stop bloodshed, or ignite it. You could go back, he told her one night. When you're strong enough. She poked the fire with a stick. They will look for me. So you hide here, for now. She glanced at him. Unless you want me gone. He didn't answer right away. The truth scared him. No, he said finally. You can stay. She smiled, small and unreadable. As days turned into weeks, the ranch changed. Laughter replaced silence. Footsteps joined his own. The walls seemed less empty, the nights less cold. He caught himself watching her when she thought he wasn't, how she moved with quiet confidence, how she listened more than she spoke, how she never treated him like a broken man. One afternoon, riders appeared on the horizon. He knew them instantly. Men from the town. The same men who had taken his land years ago through forged papers and threats. The same men who had cost him everything he'd built with his wife before she left, broken by fear. Revenge burned hot and familiar in his chest. They are not here for cattle, Ayanna said softly beside him. No, he agreed. They're here for me. She studied the men, then him. Or for what you protect. He hadn't realized how obvious it was. That night, as the riders camped too close for comfort, Ayanna took her medicine without being reminded. Then she looked at him with that same serious expression she'd worn the first day. In my tribe, she said, when someone gives care 3 times a day, it means they have taken responsibility for a life. He swallowed. I was just following instructions. She shook her head. No, you chose. The words settled heavy and warm in his chest. The next morning, the confrontation came. Accusations, threats, lies spoken loudly, confidently, by men used to winning. He stood his ground. So did she. When one of them reached for his gun, Ayanna stepped forward and spoke words that cut deeper than any bullet. She revealed the truth she carried, the names, the plans, the proof of who had really attacked her. She exposed their scheme to start a war and profit from the chaos. The men backed down, not out of kindness, but out of fear of being exposed. When they finally rode away, dust trailing behind them, the cowboy realized his hands were shaking. It's over, he said. For now, she replied. That evening, as the sun sank red and low, she held up the empty medicine bottle. No more, she said. I am healed. He nodded, though something in him ached at the finality. She turned the bottle in her hands. I will return to my people. I know. She looked at him for a long moment. Will your life return to silence? He didn't answer. Instead, he took the bottle from her, set it on the table, and met her gaze. My life changed the moment you asked that question, he said. About the medicine. She smiled then, fully, openly. Good, she said, because mine did too. The wind moved through the grass again, but this time, it didn't sound lonely at all.